We shall win to save Ghana. The elephant is the winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. The elephant is the winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana.
Constituency Executive of the Opposition New Patriotic Party in the Dome-Kwabenya Constituency of the Greater Accra Region have leveled allegations against Honorable Adjoa Sarfo, the former Member of Parliament, and certain constituency executives, accusing them of undermining the NPP during the 2024 elections. This accusation comes on the heels of demand by some concerned NPP members in the Dome-Kwabenya constituency for a reshuffle in the constituency following the election loss, identifying the parliamentary candidates and some constituency executives as the main culprits. Addressing the media in Accra, Robert Osei-Bonsu, chairman of the Dome-Kwabenya New Patriotic Party, revealed that the accused individuals were observed promoting a skirt and blouse voting strategy, encouraging voters to support Dr. Bawumia for president while voting for the NDC candidate Elik Blim as their Member of Parliament. He asserted that this action ultimately led to the party's defeat in the constituency, culminating in the loss of the seat to the National Democratic Congress.
One, the polling station elections. They complained that the constituency executives manipulated the election process to favor their candidate. The leadership of the New Patriotic Party at the national level at the beginning of the party's internal elections started with the polling station constituencies, constituted polling station election committees for every constituency to oversee all activities concerning polling station election processes. For avoidance of doubt, we state categorically that the constituency executives were not in charge of this process. The committee comprised of the following: a regional representative who was the chairman for the committee, the Council of Elders, chairman of the Council of Patrons, the constituency chairman, the constituency secretary, the research and elections officer, the member of parliament or the representative, who in this case was Nana Dubin Kwapon, the MP personal assistant, the IT officer. The committee undertook these processes in an orderly manner. At no point did the constituency executive committed attempt to influence the work of this high-powered committee. Removal of 600 polling station executives from constituency album. They accused the constituency executives of removing of 600 people from the constituency album to further their diabolic agenda. There was no form of removal of any 600 polling station executives from any album, as falsely claimed by the group. The committee agreed that all old polling station executives should remain their current positions within the party, but it should be retained. This concession was limited to those who applied officially, mindful of the fact that some may have passed on to glory, traveled or are no more interested in the positions. When this allegation was brought to the attention of the national officers of the party in 2022, the claimants were directed by both John Boadu and again Justice Frimpong Kodua to submit factual evidence of the removal of 600 names from the album. They were unable to provide the 600 names taken out of the album as claimed. We challenged them again in a recent letter to produce the list of the 600 names of old members expunged from the original album. Proof of different albums used in the above-mentioned elections. This evidence was to be submitted by Monday, 16th day of February 2025 at the residence of the constituency chairman, Mr. Robert Osebunsu, before 4 p.m. In addition, a soft copy should also be sent via WhatsApp to the said chairman. They did not oblige. Issues of court actions against the party. It is on record that the group, in pursuit of their demand with regards to their alleged exclusion from the internal elections processes, initiated legal action against the party at Adenta High Court and the Kwabenya District Circuit Court. In the two suits, it is on record that they lost their cases. What again do they want? Electoral area coordinators elections. The group raised concerns about the conduct of the electoral area coordinators election. Their people contested and lost. For example, Alhaji Ibrahim, who happens to be a lead member of the concerned youth of MPP, contested as coordinator for Domi West A electoral area. He lost that election to his contender with 13 votes as against 40 plus votes. He is the same person claiming the electoral process was a sham. Mr. Alex Frimpong, aka Asoriba, also contested as electoral area coordinator for Kwabenya A and lost. The whole election was conducted peacefully without rancor. Again, Honorable Sarah Adjoa Sarfo was the person behind all these protestations, contested the elections and lost. Again, we say that Honorable Adjoa Sarfo, who is the person behind all these protestations, contested the election and lost. Election campaign in Dome-Kwabenya Constituency 2024. MPP Dome-Kwabenya had one of the most well-organized campaigns in the run-up to the 2024 general elections. The parliamentary candidate, Ambassador Michael Okwei Jr., together with the executives and the entire membership of the campaign team across the length and breadth of the constituency, did their best to retain the party in power. Evidence abounds in this regard. The regional party commended our energetic work. We worked day and night and expected a win for the great elephant in the December 2024 polls. But the unfortunate happened to us. You need to talk after the parliamentary primaries. A few days after the 2024 internal parliamentary primaries, a unity and campaign meeting was held by the chairman. Participants included Council of Elders and patrons, electoral area coordinators, Constituency Executive Committee members, parliamentary contestants, all attended apart from Honorable Member of Parliament. Our constituency chairman had earlier notified her through a text message after several unanswered phone calls made to her. Honorable Sarfo's response through a text message to me simply read, "I'm not interested." A copy of this response is available. I later informed the Greater Accra Regional and National Party. Honorable Sarfo's refusal to campaign in Dome-Kwabenya. At all times, Honorable Sarfo had received support by all. In 2012, our then MP, the Right Honorable Professor Okwei, printed thousands of copies of his achievements in the constituency and sent people on house-to-house campaign. He supported Honorable Sarfo in both cash and in kind. Others like Ambassador Mike Okoye Jr. also supported same. In fact, in the 2016 elections, Ambassador Okoye Jr. was an agent for the party at the Constituency Coalition Center to support Honorable Sarfo. Honorable Sarfo's unavailability in the constituency and its effects on the 2024 elections. The main reason for our failure in the just ended parliamentary election was as a result of the following, which were not simple mistakes, but clear sabotage. This made the constituents angry at the MPP. Honorable Sarfo involvement in the constituency activities was non-existent. She abandoned us, refused to vote on e-levy in Parliament, went to America without informing us and Parliament. She never participated in municipal assembly meetings to champion the causes of the constituents as prescribed by law. When her constituents were calling on the Member of Parliament to resolve the numerous challenges faced by them, she was all over on social media, singing and dancing on TikTok. Yes. This further infuriated Ghanaians and constituents alike. Her refusal to engage her constituents and tackle developmental issues caused us votes, hence our downfall in the 2024 elections. Her subsequent removal as a Minister of Gender affected us. We lost the opportunity to also help the women and children in Dome-Kwabenya. All this resulted in the protest votes or massive apathy against the MPP in the constituency and created disaffection for us. Honorable Sarfo did not engage herself in any campaign activity of the party in the constituency before and after she lost the parliamentary primaries in 2024. She was absent throughout the campaign period. Several attempts to involve her proved futile. She refused to return calls from the PC or reconciliation attempts by the Chief of Staff, Antifrema Opari, Adelaide Ahure Mafio, Gabi Ochridakon, Honorable Oseche Mensabonsu, Honorable Arina Toshi, among others. She rather spent her time in Ashanti region and other constituencies in Greater Accra like Trobo and Adenta. Resources and logistics given to Honorable Sarfo for 2024 campaign. Honorable Arina Toshi Adu gave her fabrics and cash to aid the MPP campaign in the constituency. She gave them to the NDC parliamentary candidate in Dome-Kwabenya. While we were in heated dispute with the NDC in the election results, our MP was seen jubilating with the NDC candidate. The latter had gone to that church to celebrate her victory at some churches in the constituency. Yet, this same person will not pick up calls from our PC, let alone invite him to her church. This clearly showed that Honorable Sarfo was deliberately working against the MPP preferred candidate, Ambassador Michael Okoye Jr. No wonder the now Member of Parliament was invited to the Adjoa Sarfo Church sponsored program and captured exchanging pleasantries with Honorable Sarfo at a time when our party was in a dilemma over the collated results of the Dome-Kwabenya constituency. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, this was the nature of our Member of Parliament going into the 2024 elections. Skirt and blouse voting during the 2024 elections. During the last elections, Dome-Kwabenya suffered severely in terms of skirt and blouse voting. This involved people who hold positions within the party in the constituency who went to the extent of calling supporters of Honorable Sarfo to not campaign for the MPP parliamentary and vote for him, and the need to expose them to the disservice they had done to the party. This includes the following people: Seth Osekisi, who was a former constituency organizer and currently the municipal NADBO coordinator for Gais, who was also the campaign coordinator for Honorable Sarfo in the last parliamentary primaries. A few days to the elections, he was seen in Domi Pillar 2, encouraging electors to vote MPP presidential candidate, but vote for NDC parliamentary candidate. During the collation of results at the Constituency Collation Center, Senator Sekisi, in the full glare of the public, was seen jubilating with the NDC supporters and then inciting them to beat the MPP supporters there. Adjoa Sarfo, also known as Senior Atta, a polling station executive, and also an ardent supporter of Honorable Sarfo, was seen by MPP members busily canvassing for votes in Dome for the NDC parliamentary candidate. He, together with his wife, Abna Kunadu, also a polling station executive, actively worked against the party's interests in the last elections. Alhaji Ibrahim, who happens to be a leading member of the so-called concerned youth of the MPP Dome-Kwabenya, was also on the spree canvassing for votes for the NDC parliamentary candidate. This same person was seen instigating NDC supporters to attack MPP constituency executives at the Collation Center. Alex Kwame Frimpong, aka Asoriba, another member of this group and a supporter of Sheila Sechi Sapong, who also contested in the 2024 parliamentary primaries as an aspirant, was seen on the spree on election day campaigning against the parliamentary candidate of the MPP. Despite all the odds against us, the party nationwide, our parliamentary candidate got over 3,000 votes more than the presidential candidate, unlike the 2020, where the presidential candidate rather got over 3,000 votes than the parliamentary candidate. A little push by the above people could have won us the parliamentary seat, which we lost by about 200 votes. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it is suffice to say that these individuals mentioned above and many more were operating under certain instructions from their paymasters and financiers, all with an agenda to hand over the parliamentary seat to NDC, even if the MPP wins the presidential slot. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, it is not disingenuous and absurd for people who clandestinely and diabolically orchestrated the loss of the party in Dome-Kwabenya only to turn around and blame others for evil committed by them. All the allegations leveled by the so-called youth group are untenable, and there is no iota of truth in them. They are fabricated, concocted to paint the CEC coordinators and the PC and the committed polling station executives black in the sight of right-thinking members of MPP fraternity. The leadership of the constituency is alive to its responsibilities and demonstrated that enough. Under the leadership of Chairman Bonsu and with the support from Junior Michael Okwe, the constituency office has been renovated and refurbished, awaiting reopening. The same leadership was responsible for the massive campaign which led to the victory of Honorable Sarfo in the 2020 elections at a time she claimed to be sick and was not seen in public during the election, the entire campaign period. How can this CEC be termed inactive, lame, and incompetent? The difference was no sabotage at that time. The same CEC stood in and managed the constituency to the admiration of the party hierarchy and Ghanaians when the Honorable Member of Parliament went ahoy and was TikToking in the US and abandoned her constituency and ministerial duties, which earned her a sack by President Akufo-Addo's second term. During her absence from duty, DKC was described as orphan constituency, and all responsibilities fell on the shoulders of the Constituency Executive Committee, without support from any quarters. So, in according to the failures of 2024 elections, one should recognize the centrality of the whole of Honorable Sarah Sarfo and her supporters, most of whom are leading members of the so-called concerned youth of MPP in Dome-Kwabenya. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we wish to reiterate that the CEC is committed to passionate discussion and discussing the causes of the unexpected outcomes of the 2024 elections, but will not countenance any result of indiscipline. Looking for solutions to the problems we have all identified with the hope of recovering lost grounds in the next elections. We are open to suggestions which will help advance the cause of the party and bring it back to power, and not lies, naming, calling, insults, and aspersions, all in the name of the abuse of free speech. We remain committed to working with all to advance the cause of the party. We are hopeful that MPP will bounce back again and Dome-Kwabenya will surely recapture its temporal lost glory. This we hope to do so through an all-hands-on-deck approach. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, we thank you.
Thank you, sir. The winning symbol, we shall win to save Ghana. The elephant is the winning symbol, we shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. The elephant is the winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. Eshi rado rado rado. Eshi rado rado rado. Edamu nyina ase. Kukudu.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.